What is up, Earthnoids, Spacenoids, and Jovians? I am just a simple new type, and in this episode, we are diving into the short manga Crossbone Gundam Skull Heart. This story consists of a series of vignettes following Crossbone Vanguard, which takes place between Universal Century 133 to 136. We will see what Tobia and Crossbone Vanguard has been up to since the end of the Jupiter invasion of Earth. So let's get into this. UC-136. The people of space have heard rumors of the mobile suit with the skull on its chest. They refer to this unit as Skull Heart. A young girl named Stella Twink. Nope, I don't feel right about saying that. She is on her computer writing the history on the Jupiter Massacre and Crossbone Vanguard, but she thinks that she should also add the story of Skull Heart. After Crossbone Vanguard took out Croxtogati and his forces, Barra and Kincaid lived in peace on Earth. However, many went back into space. This is their story. She decides to not add this part to her book. Perhaps one day she could actually publish it. Stella is with Uman, Tobia, and Bernadette. The old man is telling his stories once again. Everyone is tired of hearing them, but Stella wants to hear it. The year was UC-0079. A young Uman is making mods on his ball. His commander comes over and yells at him for messing with his unit. He says that he made the ball look more intimidating. His commander punches him in the head. We look up in the hangar to reveal the B Gundam. The B Gundam is just a ball with a Gundam face and is used for intimidation, as many feared the Gundam. This thing completely messes with the balance of the ball and obstructs the pilot's vision. The B Gundam also seems to be an unofficial name that the translator used, and everyone just kind of went with it, even the wiki. But it is quite fitting a name, so I get it. His commander, Yona Kinnison, in a gym, continues calling Uman an idiot. He is also only 16 years old during the 1-year war. He says one day he will be a man and tell the commander how he feels about her. The team heads into what will become the Battle of Solomon. He increases his thrusters only to begin spinning uncontrollably. The MBAC system is all messed up from his shift and weight. Uman continues to be a silly idiot on the battlefield. However, his plan began to work. Throughout Solomon, people have been hearing whispers of the Gundam on the battlefield. One person that overhears these rumors are none other than the Nightmare of Solomon himself, Anavel Gato. Gato heads out in his mobile suit to intercept. Because of this, it allowed Amado to break through Solomon's defenses and force their way towards Dozel. Many of the forces start to think that the Gundam is nothing because they actually encountered Uman. That is when he and Yona make their way towards 7th Gate. Because the B Gundam just peeks its head out from behind an asteroid, it makes it seem like a giant mobile suit. That is when a team of Rickdoms go in to attack. They realize that the Gundam head is just one ball. One pilot laughs at him. He takes out Yona's arms on her gym. Uman goes in to protect her. He notices a skull insignia on their mobile suits. Uman is a new type and is able to adapt to his unit being off balance. He flails around like a madman and uses his 180mm rifle as a blunt weapon. A Dom pilot says that he moves like the mighty Styracosaurus. That is such a specific dinosaur to reference. He calls him trash, but Uman already knew that. He ejects the Gundam face. It crashes into the Dom, causing it to blow up. That day, Uman shot down 6 Doms. For him, that was enough to prove that he is a new type, but he is nowhere near as talented as Amado Ray. He goes to save Yona. While on his ball, Uman notices that Yona has a ring on it. She says that he needs to keep a better eye on his targets. This whole time, Uman makes the story out like Yona is going to die. But nope, he was just rejected. Meanwhile, back in the future, he touches Yona's ass like the pervy old man he is now. Remember, Crossbone Vanguard also has a pilot named Yona. She happens to be Yona Kinnison's granddaughter. Kincaid comes in and looks up at his new Crossbone Gundam. This is post F91, but pre-Crossbone Gundam. Uman tells Kincaid to paint a skull on it. UC-133. Crossbone Vanguard is making its way towards Earth to warn the Federation of Croxtogati's true intentions. They attack the Jupiter fleet near an asteroid. Tobia wakes up and is met by Stella. He tells him that this is her asteroid, and she is the princess. It is one of the Jupiter Empire's hidden mines. They took it over about 10 years ago. The pirates didn't know about it because it was originally in a high-speed orbit around the sun, and the Jupiter fleet moved it in between Earth and Jupiter. She has been there alone for 10 years. She refers to this place as Wonderland and refers to Tobia as Peter Pan. He says that he will try to get her back to her home planet. That is when they hear a noise. It is the Jupiter fleet. He wants to do something, but that is when Stella hits him over the head and ties him up. She did this because she wants to stay here and be left alone on Neverland. But the Jupiter Empire says, nah, we're still gonna blow it up. That is when Kincaid and X-1 comes in to help. He begins attacking Nautilus Kais. The Nautilus Kai is a mass-produced variant of the Nautilus. The only difference between this and the prototype is that the cutting wires have been replaced with a beam claw. The two kids get into a Pez Battaya, but can't get it up and running. Tobia and Stella get out and Kincaid grabs the tiny axe mobile suit, wielding it like a heat hawk. Remember, the face of the Pez Battaya is like an axe. He tears through the Nautilus Kais. After the battle, they try to get Stella to come with them, but she decides to stay on what is now rubble, I assume? Your asteroids now tinier asteroids. Yay. She asks Tobia to come and visit her sometime. She says that she will never forget the first person she met outside of her fairy tales, UC-135. A mail carrier ship is attacked by Jupiter forces. The space pirates approach them. Crossbone Vanguard is now rocking the Little Gray. Like the Mother Vanguard, so too is the Little Gray designed for interstellar travel, and is a part of Crossbone Vanguard's second-generation fleet. Everything on board is a smaller version of the Mother, and it lacks beam shields and less armor. We will mainly see it being used as a cargo vessel. Most importantly, it doesn't have the Minosky drive, and takes 3 months to get from Earth to Jupiter. They engage with the male ship, who happens to have mass production F-91s. They think that Crossbone Vanguard has fallen to a new low since the battle against Crux Dogati. We get a flashback of the male ship commander, Harrison, where his commanding officer tells him that his cargo is so important that the crew must sacrifice themselves protecting it if necessary. Nearby is a squad of Aranyas. The EMS-12 Aranya is a mass-produced late-stage mobile suit used by the Jupiter Empire. Like most Jupiter mobile suits, this is built off of the Battaya, which was developed into Aranya Battayas. This is an ever more slimmed-down version of that. This is 10 meters tall, just like the Abiho. This bug mobile suit also focuses on speed and mobility. However, its weapons are superior to the Abiho. This mobile suit also has the weakest defenses seen in a mobile suit. Don't get hit. Weapons include a beam rifle mounted on the shoulder, a beam saber, and a 7-bladed beam saber, which is a scaled-down Muramasa blaster found on the X-2 Kai. They move in and take over the ship while the Federation space pirates fight. They break onto the ship and tell the crew that there is a breach in trust within the Federation, and the wealth on their ship is proof. It seems that a Federation faction and the Jupiter Empire work together, which is why Crux and his forces were able to get to Earth no problem. As the Jupiter forces tell this to the male crew, Tobia just floats by and goes, hey. They wonder how he broke through their defenses. They were too busy looking out for mobile suits and didn't think people would just float over in normal suits. While this was happening, they were able to free the entire male ship crew with the exception of the two on the bridge. This upsets the Jupiter commander and he shoots the window. Everyone is sucked out into space. Tobia uses a grappling hook to save the two Federation soldiers. He floats over to a dummy asteroid that is hiding the core fighter, and Aranya saves the Jupiter commander. They chase after him. Uman sends out the X-1. He just kind of pushes the mobile suit off the ship. Kind of looks funny. The core fighter docks with the Gundam and forms into Skull Heart. The XM-X1 Crossbone Gundam X1 Kai Kai Skull Heart is a modified version of the X1 that was handed down to Tobia. Its new weapon is the Peacock Smasher, which is a 9-barrel crossbow-like weapon that quickly drains the unit's energy. All other weapons are the same as the X1. He engages with the Aranyas. He drops the two Fedi soldiers out of his hand. He grabs them again, but he is attacked by a string gun. It is the Aranya Battaya. The EMS-06P Aranya Battaya is built off of the Battaya, but with a new torso model. The torso resembles a spider. 4 appendages contain fin nozzles, and 2 appendages have the 4-barrel string gun used to incapacitate units. Weapons include 4 Vulcans in the chest, a beam shield, a beam rifle, a beam saber, and a 7-bladed beam saber. The spider secures the Gundam's hands. He is tackled, but he gets his hands free. Skullheart uses the screw whip to take out the Aranya Battaya and the Jupiter commander. The F-91 approaches and tells him he doesn't want to, but he will fight the pirates if necessary. Tobia tells him to relax, as he was the one that the messengers were meeting with, and that he already got what he came for. They take off, but before taking off, he breaks the cargo bay, unleashing what I assume is a lot of money that the EFF faction was bribed with. The whole diatribe that Jupiter commander went on was for nothing. Tobia wasn't even here for that. What he was after happened to be photos and letters from Barrett and Kincaid. They seemed to have settled down, got married, opened up a new bakery, and had a child. They are happy for their former leaders. 3 people just died so this team could just go, "Aw, look at that baby." And that will do it for our first introduction of Skull Heart. The crew is still kicking post-Jupiter invasion, but the Jupiter fleet's attacks are still going strong. We still don't have a bigger picture of the current state of Jupiter, however. Next time, we will conclude Crossbone Gundam Skull Heart. Tobia will meet an older Judo who goes by a different name. He learns that the Jupiter Empire is trying to clone a famous hero, and we will see the Amakusa in action. But that will do it for now, new types. Sometimes those baby photos are worth dying for. Peace.